Hey, what's up, Spice Fiends, and welcome to a Nerdy Bunch weekly review for Dune Prophecy. My name's English Dave, and joining me to listen to my every word and my every command is my co-host, Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, David?
You will be that blade that cuts off your neck.
It's like, will I?
Stop. We're here to talk.
Do not disturb.
Dune Episode 2, titled Two Wolves. After receiving word about events on Salusa Secundus, Valia brings Theodosia to the Imperial House to help manage the situation. Meanwhile, Desmond makes a confession to Emperor Carino. Tula reluctantly enlists Lila for a vital mission, and distrust swells around Kieran Atreides, the swordmaster for House Carino. Episode 1 left us with a finale that had two members from separate locations and separate planets burning to death. Mm-hmm. One, the sister Kasha, and another, the young prince. I forget his name. Rachesi. Pruitt Rachesi. Yes. Inez was ready to leave. Mm-hmm. She had a final sexy time. She's like, "That's it. I'm gone."
And
plans have to change. Let's go spoiler free. What did you think of episode 2?
I think the episodes are getting slightly better. It was a good episode. I enjoyed the fact that some questions were answered real quick, right? They actually addressed some things a lot faster than I thought they were going to. And I think I like that. I like when they don't unnecessarily drag things out, right? So it's interesting to see the growing dynamics of how characters are interacting, especially with both the larger plan that the sisters have, and then kind of the wrench that Desmond is thrown in the entire process that they have going, or their intentions, and also we get some crazy scenes. The ending, the things that happen, I feel like they have far-reaching ramification, but they also, I love the sci-fi magicness of this world, right? Like there's a lot, and I feel like we're getting to see kind of a wide breadth of different powers and will I say spells and magic, right? That different people have. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's slowly getting better. I've started talking about this show with other people now, so I think it's ramping up in a good way. I do have some small inconsistencies that I think are kind of evident. It's not a perfect show at all, right? I'll definitely say that. But I'm enjoying the direction, and can't wait to discuss more.
We're still clearly in the setup and exposition era of the show. Mm-hmm. It's still teaching us things and showing us the rules of the show. But I'm very much in it. I think if you're already a Dune fan of the movies, this is a great way to kind of get more out of it, of its history. Yep. We get things where it's like, oh, that thing they did in the movie, this is the beginning of that.
This is where that's from.
It does a good job of that. Some of the characters I like. There's still some characters we spoke about last week, and I'm still like, why are you there? Namely Constantine. Why are you there? I feel right now.
Specifically him, actually.
we learn something about him through a story that someone says that might give us some like nuance to him. Maybe we'll see. I'm curious, but right now, still not quite sure. But the characters I do like them, and like you said, I think they do a good job of, even though the pacing by design can be slower because it's about introducing us to this world or reintroducing some people to this world.
Yeah,
it's still moving faster than I think. Like you said, because there's some moments like, oh, we're already here. Oh, we've already moved on. It doesn't linger. It doesn't linger, and which is great because again, I won't go into details, but the whole idea of the plans being changed and having to tweak and having to pivot could have been episode 5, right? Episode 2, we're pivoting already.
100% already.
I get even there's some surprises. We get some reveals from some characters. Are like, oh, I didn't expect you to be that. Okay, I like where this is going.
Like, I'll take it.
So there's moments like that, and there are moments. There's a moment in this where it's like, oh shit, that's scary. That's actually scary. Like, there's no way to describe it except for that's actually scary, and I like the visuals of how this is presenting me. And we actually get some scenes where it reminds us this is sci-fi, some cool
Mm-hmm.
space scenes, or just more like they're more setting establishing shots, but we
Yeah.
still get spaceships, and it looks
Yeah.
cool. It looks
Yeah.
good
Mm-hmm. So it
visually. So
looks pretty good, honestly,
yeah,
especially with
yeah,
the budget that they have.
right. I was impressed. And yeah, so I'm still into this show. I think right now I would recommend it to people who are sci-fi heads.
Yeah,
Still not casual views, but you're a sci-fi head, you like sci-fi stuff. You
for
really
sure.
enjoyed the Dune movie beyond the spectacle, you enjoyed it for the nuance, then yeah,
Yeah,
I would say check this show out.
definitely give it a shot.
All right, let's get into full spoilers. The key moments in this episode we're going to be talking about. Um, like we spoke last week, and we assumed it's going to keep continuing. Tula and Valia continue to butt heads with different
Mm-hmm.
ideologies of how to approach the same thing. They still
Yes,
very much have the same goal, right?
different plans.
But it's just how do we approach that goal? It's different. Um, Lila goes through the agony, which is a
Mhm.
way of showing us. In the movies, they had the spice agony. This is a different
Yeah,
version. This is a different version of the same thing,
yeah,
probably precursor to that.
yeah.
We get a reveal of the rebel groups that we've been hearing of. Episode 1,
Mm-hmm.
the rebel
Mm-hmm.
group that they're
Mm-hmm.
destroying all the spice equipment. This is why the emperor has to marry his daughter because of
Yeah,
things like this.
yep.
Um, the empress Natalia convinces Haviko that maybe you shouldn't be too hasty with Desmond.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we find out more about her and her beliefs, and also Duke Ferdinand around and finds out.
Great way to summarize exactly what happened there. Really.
And Valia versus Desmond. So we're going to start off, we'll split this review into two parts. You have what's happening at the school with Lalia and Lila.
La 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 la.
I mixed Valia and Lila to get Valia.
So Valia.
Valia.
Valagu.
We get the school with Lila and also the agony. And then the second
Mm-hmm.
part is what's happening in the palace and
Mm-hmm.
all those people. So we'll start off with the school.
Yes.
And the
Okay.
agony, finding out that there may be a connection between Kasha and Pruitt's deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Valia's like, all right, I need to go to meet the emperor and make sure
Mm-hmm.
everything's still gusto. All right, when I'm gone, too long gonna let you. What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Tula's like, excuse me?
You say? I'm gonna leave you in charge of everything, Tula.
Oh my gosh, finally you trust me. No, no,
No,
no,
no, no.
not at all. Not at all. Quite the opposite, actually.
What did you think of the relationship with that? And Valia pretty much saying, yeah, you care about Lila too much. Just let her go through the pain. What do you
Yeah.
think of that?
I mean, yeah, Tula shouldn't be surprised, but I guess neither should Valia. But it was interesting to just see Tula kind of, like I said, get excited at thinking that maybe her sister trusted her, and it was like,
Yeah.
listen,
I'm
I
in charge
mean,
now.
like,
I don't
like
know.
trust me. Honestly, I wish it wasn't you. Gonna be honest. I wish there was someone else. But hey, what are we gonna do, right?
It was always like she was like, okay, no, just run me through what you're about to do so I can.
So I can tell you why you're wrong in advance. But it was interesting because I like one thing I like about Valia is, man, she moves quick, right? She's like decision gone. She's just like like no real time to waste over pondering.
Mhm.
And I think we continue to see that as she goes through the episode. Walks into the Emperor's room. Her interactions with Desmond, which were awesome, and we'll get to how he was just like no. But just again, finishing on Tula, I like that we get her as a contrast to Valia because we know she has a big heart. We know that she is a completely different kind of leader, which often happens in stories where the president and vice president aren't always the exact same type of person. So it's nice to see that Tula is. It's almost like a slice of what life could be like for the sisters if they weren't so hell bent on this one track mind goal of take over the entire planet, right? So yeah, I like Tula. I don't think this show is gonna end well for her. I'm gonna have to just say again. I think even the thing with Lilia, because is she really dead? She's dead, right? Is she dead? I don't know. Is she dead? She dead? She dead? She dead? Is she dead?
No,
Is she dead?
get
Question
into
mark.
that. But I think more comatose than dead. But hey, they don't. No one makes any mention of her breathing, so we don't know
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that regard.
I
But
don't
let's
know because that would be crushing for Tula. Is all I was gonna say.
uh,
If she's really gone, like that's gonna be like I knew this is exactly what I didn't want, and I'm sure Valia is gonna be like, oh, but we got the information. One bun of spice twice
though
and everything nice.
though I think Tula's an interesting character because again, yes,
Mhm.
she's got more of a heart than Valia, but again, she's still
Mm.
very much down for the cause, right? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like she's
yeah,
out here saying everything we do is because again, she's not. We understand that there's at least minimum two factions of the sisters, and there's some that are
yeah.
like maybe you shouldn't do it that way, and Tula's not with them, right?
No,
And so Tula still very much believes. I think a huge part of this also, I think, is just more so Tula didn't realize how much of a connection she's going to get with Lila. And I don't
yeah,
know if she would have been the same if it was somebody else, not Lila.
yeah. Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when Lila's like, oh, you know what? I've always seen you as a mother to me, and then she's just like, you know what? I already saw you same with me. Like, I love that you said that.
It's
Yeah,
a,
I think sh- she's gotten too personal with it, and because I only say that because as much as she tries to tell Lila like, oh, this is dangerous. You shouldn't have to do it. At the same time, she's like, yeah, but it's really important to us,
yeah. Like
though.
we need you. Don't do it, but help.
You don't do it, but if you did do it, it'd
Mhm.
be great. So she's still subtly adding pressure
Yeah,
for Lila to go through it. Yeah, and she knows that Lila should go through it and has to go through it. She just doesn't like the idea of her quote unquote daughter going through pain.
yeah.
And I think
And I
it's
think it
more of
makes
that.
sense. She also knows that. I think she also it's not like it's just painful. She's like the odds are also low. It's not. It's not something that usually happens, right? She thinks Valia has been a little bit too desperate, also, like just a little bit. I feel.
Well, because usually students train for years for
Yeah,
this. She has not she's not even close to being ready,
Valia's like,
but
nah,
she's
she's
gotta
a
do this for us.
natural. She
Yeah.
got it.
She dies, whatever.
Well, okay, sorry.
Um, Lila is a bit, she's not sure what decision to make, so she
Mm-hmm.
asks her fellow students for help. She speaks to both Jen and I think it's Emily. What's her name? Emily.
The other one. Yeah, Jess is not
And
about the sisterhood, man.
Jen is all like, it's sisterhood above all else, not sister above all else. So they don't care about you. And Evelyn is like, yeah, but my whole family is used to kind of like martyrdom and
Yeah.
sacrificing ourselves.
Uh,
And it's the best thing
uh-huh.
you can ever do. you know?
Like two completely different viewpoints, right?
which is interesting because it made me see Jen slightly differently than I expected her to be.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh shit, Jen cares. Like
Yeah,
she's that rebel and she's got that rebellious streak to her.
yeah,
But it seems because she cares, not because of just being rebellious. She's
yeah.
that
For no
person that
reason.
will question the things, but
Mm,
because she cares. I feel like she cares about Lila right now. She's actually,
uh,
when Lila's going through it, she holds Emmeline's hand, things like that. I feel like she actually cares more than I thought that she would. Interesting. And on the flip side, we thought Theodicea would be the nicer one.
uh-huh.
But I feel like there's something there, even when Valia's like, "You got to come with me," and she's like, "Oh, but my special circumstances." What do you think she's talking about?
I don't know, right? Because that could mean so many things. Like what kind of social circumstances are we referring to? Because there's a lot of I guess mystery about their past, right?
Mhm,
So I mean, it's like, we don't know. We don't know anything, right? Unless I miss something
mhm.
um along the lines.
Except for Jen killing all those people and her parents, apparently.
But even her, my issue is the way she told that story as well. It's not like, oh, I don't believe that was the 100% truth. Just
Mhm,
personally, maybe again,
mhm,
maybe, but I hope we do get some flashbacks, or some more light because I do like their little Harry Potter school thing they have going on between them in that school, right? And
mhm,
they're all kind of like individual personalities and they portray that in a good way. We don't see them for too long, but we get to see enough.
mhm.
So I feel like I definitely want to see what it's like for them all when they kind of I guess let me say it like this. The reason I don't want Lilia to be dead is because I want her to come back and have found out that her mother was killed and then, share that information with her fellow sisters and they I don't know, rebel against the machine. That's how I'm looking at it.
Well, okay, let's go to that. Let's go to the actual agony itself. I loved how it's done and visualized. We get first, and I love that because again, she's there apprehensive and she's worried, but I don't think she's really ready for what she's about to go through.
She's
It's like,
not.
yeah, I could do that. I could find my mom, right? Yeah, right, right. She's
Yeah.
almost like the level of excitement. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this thing for you.
Yeah.
And then it hits. I love the visual of seeing all the like ghostly style women. That was
Bruh.
scary.
That
That
was
was so
that
scary.
was horror movie stuff, right? Because it's
Right.
like I would feel claustrophobic and freaked out as well if I was there.
And because you're in your mind, where are you escaping to?
Yeah.
Right. It's not like you can run away for help and they just engulf over her. And you said something that as a mistake I also made. That wasn't Dorothea isn't her mother. Dorothea is her
It's her
grandmother.
grandmother.
Yes. And Raquel is a great grandmother because what it alludes to
Yeah.
is when she said, "Oh, my mother died." And she's like, "Oh, that's what they told you." So the
Mm-hmm.
question is Lila's mother dead?
Oh,
She doesn't see
like
her mother because she says, is
that's
that what they told you? Ah, well,
okay.
that's the real
I'll
question.
jot that one down. That's a fair point because you're right about the lineage. You're right about what they said about it. Oh, that's what they
Mm.
told you. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
Like,
It's like
hmm,
but then
interesting. But this
the
is why
other
I want her
side
to
of
come back, right?
but that's the other side of it, right? Yes, I know, uh, 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 um, Dorothea's ghost says something along the lines of like, you took away my dreams and we're taking away yours." But
Yeah,
in a sense, she attacks her own granddaughter in
yeah.
doing that. So I'm
Which is
curious.
like, what are you? Who are you mad against? Like your
Exactly.
own your own kin, or does that mean? But what I could see is her taking over the body somehow, right?
Mhm,
And maybe I don't know if again because I haven't even tried to look into the books because I want to have
mhm,
free reign to guess whatever I want to guess, right? And
mhm,
that would kind of be fun if even if it's like a short term takeover where she takes over like Lilia's body and comes back
mhm.
like aha.
But, before she dies, goes comatose, whatever it ends up being, she does manage to communicate with Raquella, who
Yes.
says the cryptic message of the key to the reckoning is one born twice, once in
Mhm.
blood, once in spice, a revenant full of
And
scars,
everything
weapon born
mess.
of war on a path too short. What does
Yes.
that mean?
We need the Powerpuff Girls.
Chemical X. That's what we need to add to
Relax.
that.
But from little I know, because that could be Desmond or Paul Atreides, right? Or because Desmond died. I don't know his logistics or how he's there, whether clone, whether spiritual magic with its likenesses, but the person that entered that worm, I do not believe survived, which would therefore mean that he's died, right? And the Born of Spies thing, I feel like that also applies to him, just with everything. But yeah, for sure, Paul Atreides also fits in that bill. But I think that's why I like this world, right? Because it's so far back in the past. It's like, ooh, we're talking about like
Yeah, yeah.
like
Could there
short
been
term
other
future
people?
or like decades long future, like
Or
eons,
middle
yeah,
of the way because
or somebody else that we've never heard of before.
it's 10,000 years. 5,000 is still long, and that's hard,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, right.
What was our world 5,000 years ago in our world? You know, nobody knew who Jesus
But
was.
imagine that, right, Loki?
So imagine just the difference in just like
Yeah.
we've done 2,000 years, you know. So
Times two. That's crazy.
let's go into Desmond. I find Desmond an interesting character. He reminds me of I was listening to a podcast and someone put it perfectly. He's almost like Rasputin.
Oh,
That
and Anastasia,
yeah, and and
I totally see
and
that.
in the, you know, and he's got that weirdness to him, but somehow he holds power in the court. And let's
Yeah.
see how he gets that power. You know, he's talking to Habakkuk and is like, I know what you really wanted, so I did it for you, son. Habakkuk's
So
like,
I was
what?
surprised, man.
No,
So
no,
quick.
no.
I didn't think you would tell
That's not
him.
what I wanted. Right? He's like, yeah, I did it for
Mm.
you. And Habakkuk's like, no, that wasn't me. Put him in jail.
Yeah.
Let him think about what he's done. And then wife is like, "Oh, you know, I had a words with
Listen,
him and,
his wife is in love. His wife is like, Desmond, you are exactly what I prayed. I prayed for this, like literally. that oh my gosh! Every time Desmond is like talking, or they're like when Queen Mother was interrogating him, the Empress is just watching him like that's the soldier I like.
He I forget the name, but he mentions the name of the worm god, and she's like, "Oh, did you just? Oh my god, I know that guy."
She's totally in awe. Like she's buying whatever he's selling.
I like when she says to have a go. All I'm saying is, let's not rush to kill our enemies to please kill our friends to please our enemies. So she's already calling him friend.
Yeah.
Just like, we could use him. We could use him.
It's a fair line, though. I'm not even saying I don't know about agree or disagree with her, but she's not wrong. Just from a purely logical standpoint, like somebody can do that, and that's why I like that they get to see Desmond do it to what's his name, father of
Ferdinand.
Pruitt's, yeah, Ferdinand, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody got to see it, and he turned it off, right? So it's like, I have control. It's not just like flame on and I set you ablaze. Like this is proper, spiritual magic power to the advanced degree. So I hear her. You don't just get rid of that kind of person. Like, stay in this floating prison, which I don't understand that prison, by the way.
He's the
Like,
only one.
yeah, but I guess my question was more, wait, doesn't he have like telepathic powers? Like, wait,
Maybe his powers are
the-
just a bird.
I don't know, but it still seemed risky. Like, okay, guys, you should, I don't know, maybe do more. But maybe they don't really want him in uncomfortable conditions. But yeah, very, very interesting prison.
I liked when Natalia is pretty much insinuating to Ferdinand that, yeah, your son died because of that toy he was playing with. That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Ferdinand's like, excuse me? Those burns from that little toy. It's like,
She's like, I'm just saying the machine was just happened, and
no, I honestly kind of, I feel bad for Ferdinand because I don't think there was anything wrong in anything he said or any of his reactions, right? If my son just died in your palace overnight with a burn and you tell me it's the toy that, I mean, we've known about that toy, that even if it exploded, like maybe his arm, right? not not all over. Are you gaslighting me about the death of my son?
Though he does get a bit, again, like I said, he around and finds out. I understand, Havoc even tries to be like, listen, look, we're gonna do whatever we can. And he hits Havoc in his own palace.
Yeah,
You weak fool. You think you
yeah,
can
yeah,
silence me? I will tear
yeah,
you from the throne and feed you to the wolves and let them choke on you.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. No. So yeah. So
In my house?
I feel like my thing with people is you don't have to announce your actions always, right? He could have just been like, "This is not the last you hear of me," and gone back up to his ship and just sent a radio signal. I have all my guns pointed at you. Right? That's a better
Do
way to
we have
handle that.
a problem?
Yeah. Right. Not because that's insulting to anyone.
Mhm.
Nothing, let alone the emperor in his
In
his home. Whoa, 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 whoa,
my throne
whoa,
room
whoa,
in
whoa,
front
whoa,
of
whoa, whoa.
everybody. You have
People
the
are here too.
audacity.
Nah,
I am the emperor of everything. Like, what? Who are you?
you
Dude?
actually forget your place. You forget your place for
All right.
sure.
So I also understand why Haruko is like, you know what, Desmond, do you think?
Yeah, but
This
stop!
guy.
Don't kill him! Don't kill him!
Yeah.
It was
No.
like
No. No. No.
just get a little crispy. It's a little toasty.
Yeah. When that happens, you can see on Haruko and Natalia's faces like, ooh, new weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Empress is just like, fine. This is so. You don't have words to describe how you feel. It's like I literally wanted a person I could just turn on and off to
Right.
attack my enemies.
And
Fantastic.
then Valia shows up, and Desmond's like, yeah, so we won't be needing your services anymore. So you can see yourself out. And she's like, what? How dare you? Oh, kill yourself. And he's like, yeah, it's not going to work on me.
He's like, man,
What did you
I'll put
think
that
of
away.
his resistance? I love how he plays it out because at first you're thinking he's struggling. And he's like, nah, just messing with you.
Oh, I knew it was nothing from the jump, first of all. But to rewind slightly, I like the fact that, like you said, he's now the one delivering the news, right? He's all of a sudden shut up the ranks of people in the Emperor's Guard, right? Because why is he the one delivering that message? But yeah, like that scene was great because just seeing Valiant's shock, when it didn't work. And to rewind slightly, if you look back, this is thanks to nerds on the on the internet. Emergency Awesome is his channel, if you care. When he was talking to Queen Mother, I don't know, I keep calling her Queen Mother, but Queen Mother, yeah, I was talking to Valio, being interrogated by her the first time, right? He was looking at her like dead on, like he didn't blink. And as soon as she went behind him, he like in a relieved way, like quickly closed his eyes. So I feel like he
He
had
was
been
focused.
training. Yeah, he has been training between that and surviving the voice. I feel like part of his backstory is being trained to handle the truth sayers and their tricks, right? Because they don't have like quote unquote it's not like all magic, right? It's also a lot of it is reading the eyes, reading your
Yes, it's
quivers,
biology.
reading yeah, Carl Lightman, like we said, lie to me once again, shout outs.
Great show.
So I feel like yeah, he's been trained and has perfected the anti truth sayer, like form of fighting, and you get to see that in just little ways.
But even to the point where I like when it's like, oh, is he telling the truth? Well, no, he believes he's telling the truth. There's a
Mhm.
nuanced difference, right?
Exactly.
Where you can make yourself believe you're telling the truth. That's how
Yeah,
you
because
beat the lie detector.
who are you working for? The Imperium.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean, right? That's like that's like I'm on the side of the just.
And
Like
he gives
who?
the direct answers though. He's like, I said what I said. I'm with the Imperium. I'm gonna wipe you and your kind out from every
Yeah,
planet. He tells us straight away. Like,
like
my goal is to wipe every trace of you and your sisters from our worlds.
I feel like the hack to their powers is to not lie at all, right? Like it's not even like you said, he's not
Right.
mincing his words. Like, oh, I'm trying to get rid of all of y'all, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's
Well,
telling
which
the truth. Yeah,
and I love the line, "I always wondered what your greatest fear would be. Now I've seen it. It's not that no one will hear you, it's that they'll hear you and just won't care."
not care. Oh, I was
Ugh,
like, zing,
ugh, oh,
and she just
stab
walked
yourself.
away.
It's
She
it's
just
is
walked
someone
away.
is someone talking right now? I hear someone talking. I don't care what they're saying. I
Like,
love that.
it's such a great scene, and I love his rapport.
Right? Just her reaction, like, "What the heck? I said cut your throat. What? It's not working?"
Because that's very embarrassing, right? Like the moment after you just tried to get somebody to kill themselves and it
Right,
didn't
right.
work, right? And it's
Like,
like, oh,
oh,
I gotta go.
this is embarrassing.
Excuse me. It'd be
It's like
funny if he
Wolverine.
just like tripped her up at that moment.
It's like Wolverine not being able to bring his claws out when needed.
Right. Limp.
Um, one of the side stories that this sets up is we found out about we've been hearing that the reason why House Carino needed to have this marriage is because of
Yeah.
all the attacks they've had on their spice fields
Yeah.
and Carino's going to bring more weapons. And then when Desmond comes, he's like, "Hey, it wasn't the Fremen who attacked us; it was someone with resources attacked us." Now
Mm-hmm.
we found out who those people are. There is a rebel group which Kieran is part of. I was like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, Kieran's part of
I
the."
was just gonna mention him.
And we also find out that this is a rebel group that Kieran and some others don't know being sponsored by the sisters. When Michaela is all like, "I don't trust you, Kieran," and then she goes, "Hey, mother Valia," I was like,
Listen,
"Oh."
that was a surprise of the episode for me. That was my third highlight. I didn't see it coming.
Did not.
I wasn't even suspecting her. She wasn't on my radar. And then
Nope.
she went and she told on him that quick. I was like,
So
damn, bro.
quickly. Like, no, no. Valia was like, "Who could we throw under the bus?" And she's like, "Oh, I know a guy just
I
perfect
got
for
the
that."
guy right here. Well, well, well. You
Doesn't
come to the
mention
right
anyone else.
place.
He's like, Atreides, and then Valia's, "Ooh, Atreides." He's like, "Is that a problem?"
Trade.
No,
No,
not a
no,
problem.
that's
No,
actually
no.
quite good actually. I can like I can work with that. I can work with that for sure.
And I think this storyline for me made me look at Kieran differently. I'm like, okay, I'm interested in you because I think for me, Kieran before was on the same level as Constantine, where you're just this character
Like a
who's
side
there,
character who's just
right?
there to fill up the numbers.
Right. Kieran gets more weight because he's an Atreides, so
Mhm,
there's a lineage there, so I can be interested in that. But I still was like, he's just there as a just a love angle, love interest. But
mhm,
then with this plot of the spy
mhm,
thing, I'm like, oh, interesting now because on one, he has his motivations for doing this. He believes that the other houses are hoarding all the spice. He wants to do something
mhm.
about it, all that kind of stuff. But then on the flip side, I'm curious to see his reaction when he finds out he has been manipulated this whole time. What do you think?
I think that would be interesting. You're right. I like that he's not as one dimensional as I initially thought. seems to have his own goals and ideals. And yeah, like I said, that I did not expect her to betray him like that. So I wonder what specifically Queen Mother is going to do against him, or how is she going to use that information now that she has it?
Well, the thing is, she tried to use it, and Desmond's like, "Yeah, nobody wants to speak to you," because
Yeah,
that's why she goes, right? She goes to
yeah,
tell this information. So I'm
yeah.
curious how
But
she's
it's
going
not
to
the
find
end
a
of
way.
it exactly,
Yeah.
because she's not just gonna be like, oh well, okay, I give up now. Right? Like, I mean, come on. I assume they can send messenger pigeons or something. I don't know. I don't know how the email under the email system in this world, because their tech is just on a semi slight tangent. Like the tech is always so interesting because it's so advanced. And I know in a lot of stories this happens in like technology is cyclical almost, right? It's sometimes the future can seem more like the past and vice versa. But they definitely have some crazy advanced tech, right? Like even when the emperor
Well,
was seeing the recording of Desmond
mm,
and the sandworm, like
mm.
that's a very cool system.
I feel like the tech, in a nutshell, the tech can't have any algorithmic or computational
Mhm.
high level computational stuff because of thinking machines
Yeah,
issues, right? Look how they
yeah,
reacted to a
yeah,
toy, right?
yeah.
So that's, and I love
So
that
it's
as a
just like
reason
no
for why certain
autonomous
tech is so.
thinking. Yeah,
Yeah. Just basic stuff, right?
or like
Which
quote
is
unquote, because
again
basic is a
from their
basic is
perspective, right?
relative, right? Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
I think that I'm pretty sure there's a scene where somebody mentions what is it, paper mulch, or like what is the way you make paper. There was I think there was a mention of mulch being like backwards in
Yeah.
this episode. Don't quote me, what kind of quote me. And so it's just funny because I think like they too have the concept of like ancient technology. So it's just interesting that.
Mm,
And just on the tangent, I kind of like that idea. It's a world where it's like not advanced, but it's not caveman time,
mm.
right?
They're
Essentially,
probably the most advanced thing they have is space travel, right?
yeah,
And that's
which is
more for the
pretty
travel,
advanced,
which is pretty advanced,
right?
yeah.
It's like like I'm not even knocking that. Like, oh wow, okay,
He's like, I'll be right back. I'm just making a quick trip to this other planet.
well, yeah, like for them that's average. Like, wow, damn.
Right, it's like jumping on a bus. I did like, when Kieran to, um, what's her name? Inez? Is it Inez?
Oh,
Yeah, Inez, yeah,
yes,
to Kieran to
yes.
Princess Inez. It was like, "So,
Mm-hmm.
you wanna go back and do more sexy time?" She's like, "No."
She's
That was
like,
me when
how,
I was leaving.
read the room, sir.
"I'm not leaving anymore." And he's like,
Yeah.
you're right." But speaking of sexy time, we get a sexy time, which is just purely as a way for exposition, because like, Constantine gets a sexy time, but
Constantine, yeah.
like an idiot, he's just like, "Oh, you're so pretty. Let me tell you everything about my family secrets. Here you go."
Just like it seems so annoying. It really does.
The house was like, what are you
Like bro,
doing?" That's how Duke Ferdinand found out about Desmond,
no,
'cause the out
no.
here is talking, and then mind you, why are you telling her? You know that it's the daughter, right? Of all the
You
people to tell.
literally know, especially because you guys were at the was it not funeral or whatever, not funeral,
Yeah,
but like you were not reading the room when you were eye
right,
fucking yourselves. Sorry,
right.
long story short. Okay, like come on, guys.
No, I did like when he's just like, "Oh, sorry, your brother." And she's like, "Yeah, I didn't really know him. Eh, we're
It's very
biological siblings,
it's
but
very like Archer type of scene. Like
yeah, eh, I know he died, man. I didn't really like him that much."
yeah, like,
She doesn't care. Yeah.
no, God,
Um,
that's all.
I find it interesting. Again, I'm curious to see where the storyline's going, if it goes anywhere. Um, Inez tells Kieran the story that no one knew about. That a long time ago, her and her brother was secretly kidnapped by a rebel group, and
Mm-hmm.
it was only supposed to be her. But her brother, who wasn't able to fend them off, said, "Well, if you're gonna take her, take me too."
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that.
That okay, continue. Finish
I feel like they
first.
try. That's an attempt to give layers to the brother, but I'm not quite sure where they're taking the brother's narrative, or where they want to take the brother's narrative. What are your assumptions?
I don't even know because maybe I wasn't being fair, but I was like, that's such a take me to like
I was like, if you're gonna take my sister, she's gonna be by herself, and I can't stop you. Take me so she can have company, at least so she's not by herself. I think it's sweet,
it's very sweet. I just like, bro, I mean, find a
but
way to escape her. It's
I
just
don't know what
strange.
they want us to feel like. Are they trying to create a narrative where you're telling us that he cares about his half sister so much and will do anything for her, and they may be setting up something down the road where he's going to try and defend her? But I don't know, because I don't know if she's going down that road, right?
Yeah, I also don't know, but I almost feel like it is more of the showing that they have a bond that is Bonnie and Clyde, right? But
Well, let's see
siblings,
them
right?
together. How many scenes
Yeah.
have we seen them together? Barely. You know, let's have them together. You almost
Yeah.
forget that they're siblings. You're like, oh yeah, shit, she does have a brother.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's maybe I don't know if that I don't want to say intentional, but I feel like she's almost been acting to me like she had made a decision in her head,
Mhm,
marrying that little boy. It's like one track, like a train just going in that direction, right?
mhm,
And now she's now derailed because the train stop exploded, and it's almost like affecting her regular relationship. So you're
mhm,
right. I feel like it would be nice because now is the time when her brother really should be there for her, right?
mhm.
He really should be like, oh my gosh, wow, you're the little kid, you're gonna marry dad.
Nah, nah, he's
Are
having
you
sexy time.
okay? Are you okay? Right. Sis, oh my gosh, talk to me. What's going on? Instead, you're right. He's spending hours trying to prove that he's great in bed to this lady and spilling literally all the secrets. But the truth is, if you look at the history of men, it's also not that surprising. It's not,
No,
I wouldn't
no.
say that's unrealistic. It's actually quite
I,
realistic, sadly.
I like later in the court when he realized that she told everything. He looks at her. She's like,
Yeah. Like, it was
oh,
even dumb of him. Like, okay, and
like, why are you mad right
like
now?
like
He's still
what did you expect?
seriously.
You would have too, right? And he's a twice.
Anything else you want to add I haven't spoken about?
Let me just make sure I put on my highlights. Yeah, Lillian, don't be dead. I just feel like I feel like I want her to come back and cause more of a ruckus, even though her death itself would also cause a ruckus.
Mhm.
But it's just yeah, I want her to come back and bring the information.
I think there's something to your point about maybe someone takes over her body as well, inhabits her body. That could be interesting.
Because it would just be unfair. It's like, oh, they killed me. Now I'm killing you, granddaughter. It's like, whoa,
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
why? That's terrible.
But I could see
So
I could see
that's the main
Dorothea
thing.
because Dorothea is like, "Oh, you cut me off, cut my life off early." I can see her being like, "I'm gonna continue my life inside my granddaughter's body."
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. And that would be cool. I just want to say I don't even want to look up a lot of what the books have
No,
because
no.
I want to be like I said, it's almost like I'm having I'm not comparing this show to Fringe. Never will. I'm trying to just have an experience of a show where it's like take me anywhere, like do
Mhm.
whatever you want. Like you can explain this in time travel, space travel, telekinesis. You got it all. Whatever you want.
I like the moment where Valia arrives and she does the truth saying, and I like how they visualize that. We get the edits
To
and
the
close ups of
Emperor.
the eyes. Yeah, see the close
Yeah.
ups. What you get like a visual POV of what she's looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like because you don't really get that visualized in the movies, so just seeing that visual of how it looks, I thought was cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Even the way the hand signed with this, like as soon as she got there and she
Yeah,
told
yeah,
the other one, like,
yeah,
just turn to hand signals. Yeah, I like that they have that underlying communication just between like what it's like whenever you see another way true say sisters, you already
mm.
know and you drop
but it
some
but it's
tea.
so subtle. It's not like traditional sign language that we know,
Yeah,
where someone like us who don't understand sign language, we see
yeah.
someone using sign language, we're still
You know
aware that
they're
someone
doing something.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
communicating, they're talking. I may not know what they're
yeah,
saying, but they're communicating. This
yeah.
one is so subtle, the people aren't supposed to see it because it's like hands by the side.
Like even if you saw it, you might, if you're not being like an active thinker or like watching for a while, you'd be like, oh, it looks like somebody stretching their
Yeah,
hands, right? Like,
or nervous twitch or
yeah, like
something like
I'm
that.
just, it looks normal.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I like that.
So
I think
appreciate
that's
that.
it. All right.
Yeah, so like I said, I think it's an improvement. It's going. It's not fantastic. It's not great, but it's definitely a little bit better than
There's potential.
last episode. And I think I want to see. Oh, not think. I know I want to see where it goes, and I feel
Yes.
like they can add some more surprises and sprinkle more um, tension. I guess that would just take it up to end up as a great show. I think.
It's the rare prequel narrative that
Mhm,
still maintains the stakes. You know, sometimes with
mhm,
prequel narratives, especially when you're so close, you're like, well, I know this character is going to return 20 years from
mm.
now, so nothing's going to happen
Yeah,
to them.
like man.
You know, they're safe. You know,
Yeah.
whereas this one, everybody could die. You
Yep.
know, like,
Every single person could go.
and so the stakes are there. There's still
But not
tension.
exactly. It's like, but you know the lineage will still live on. So
Yes,
it's like,
exactly. That person could die as long as
yeah,
they have a child, right?
exactly.
Or
And
I
so,
mean, even in the case of Atreides, right? Yeah, he's in Atreides, but we don't know he doesn't have siblings, right?
you're right. You're actually right. It's not like they've said, oh, the only
Right,
Atreides, and you know that's true. So that's
right.
interesting. That's
Exactly.
an
He could die and
interesting
just
one.
still have relatives that carry on the Atreides line, which is what I like about this. So it's like the stakes are still there. And again, usually with prequels, you have an idea of where it's going.
Yeah.
No idea.
No idea. No,
Absolutely
none
no idea.
whatsoever. Yeah.
Again, 10,000 years is a great gap where you can have like, you'd have 1,000 years of good people ruling, 1,000 years of the bad people, and back and forth.
Thousand
You
of
know?
both and just mix and match. Yep.
Right. So many rises and falls could happen in that 10,000 year period, right? As we've seen in real life, right? And so, which is what I like. Say, someone like us who not only do we digest this content, we spend a lot of time dissecting the content, right?
Yeah.
Analyzing and figuring it out. And usually that leads to us kind of gaining a skill inadvertently, which I hate, of kind of guessing what's about to happen. My
Mm-hmm.
wife hates it. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, that's gonna happen." She's like, "Ah, shut up! I didn't want to know."
Can't turn it off. Sorry, man.
I can't turn it off. I'll know who's about to die, or
Yeah.
kind of. But this one does a good job of kind of throwing me off. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I like this. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect this to
Exactly.
happen. You know, so I'm intrigued.
That's it. The greatest strength for me is just the fact that they resolve some questions very quickly,
Mhm,
address some things very quickly, and it's like, oh, okay, great. Episode
mhm.
2 already. Yeah, great. Let's Good. Keep this energy.
Yes, and they take advantage of their 50-something minute long episodes, which I like. I like. Anyway, what do you nerdies think of this show so far? What do you think of this second episode? Would you recommend it to your non-sci-fi friends? Let us know. Find us on social media at The Nerdy Bunch. You can also give us some recommendations and reviews for
Yes.
stuff that you've watched. You can find us
Yes.
on email, thenerdybunchpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. Yes.
Check out
Yes.
our other podcasts. We just finished our series review for Arcane. That finished recently, so check out our final podcast that went up yesterday as we record this.
Yeah.
We're also currently
R.I.P.
doing Silo, which we're about to record the next episode after recording this, and a whole bunch of stuff coming up. So check those out. Everybody have a wonderful, those who celebrate Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourselves, be safe, and all that jazz. And as always, Andrew,
Keep it nerdy.
peace.